Hey everyone, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come visit my page and check it out. It's an introduction to a game that's called Bukharo. It's a game that I believe originated in India, probably in the Gujarat region, because most of the people I know who play Bukharo have been from that region of India. But it's an awesome game and it's out there for everyone. And what I've noticed is that there's no real discussion online, no rules or forums on of people discussing how this, what this game is and how it's played. So what I wanted to do was create a channel that just talked about that. It's nothing fancy, just wanted to kind of give the lessons on how to play the game, and hopefully that'll just create more interest in it and more people that are willing to play. And for any families and friends that are out there that are wondering, hey, how do I play this game? And how do I get started? This is just a place for you to begin. So I hope you enjoy it. And to start it, what I did was I have a set of lessons, but the first one just talks about something that I like to call the standard rules. And it's not going to teach you too much about how the game is played, but it'll help you understand why and how these rules and how these lessons are designed and what the kind of the idea or the roadmap is for the rest of the slides that I provide. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no one fixed set of rules for playing Bukharo. The game has lasted for several generations, and with the time, every family and every group of people have made their own variations and tweaks to the game to add their own challenge or add their own little flavor of making it more fun. And that's great. I mean, you don't want to have a game that's just, static the entire time. But the problem is that it just makes it harder for new people to learn the game because they're either learning variation A or B or something different than what everyone plays with. So it's hard to find a large group of people that are all have the same common rule set in mind when they play. So kind of makes it a problem for playing Bukharo. That being said, the core game itself, like how to get Bukharo, what to do on your turn, those kind of things are all played in a similar manner, irrespective to those governing rules. There are those variations between different families and different groups of people. So what I tried to do here is I created something called the standard rules. It's based off of, I'm sorry, I'm being a little selfish, but it's based off of the different rules that I've played with, when I've played Bukhara with different friends and different family members. And I just took what I thought was a good unifying starting rule set and I posted it here as what I call the standard rules. And I'm hoping that it serves as a guideline and a starting point for new players and families. The idea being that you now have a universal set of rules to make it easier to play with other people, people that have played Bukharo and you've played Bukharo and that you just want to get together and have a game. Now you don't have to go through the painful process of learning a different game because I think everyone who's played a game knows that learning the game is always the most painful part. And then once you get into it, then you actually is where the fun starts. So this takes care of that first problem. Everybody knows the same game, so then they can just start playing and enjoying. Second thing is if you know a common set of rules, then it makes it a lot easier for everyone to learn these variations. I'm not saying that the standard rules is the most fun version of Bukhara there is. I'm almost certain that that's completely subjective, and even for me, there's times where it's a great game, and other times I'm like, let's switch it up a little bit. It's more fun if we have a little bit of variety. So having that standard set of rules will make it great to because everyone has a common starting point, and then you all learn the same variations. So that way, there's an easy flow in which everyone just kind of moves from one variation to the other. So it's just a place to start. Honestly, that's what I was trying to create here. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up as the first lesson is because everything that will be talked about in the remaining lessons in this Bukharo tutorial will be following the standard rules of play. So in the, lesson 10 or lesson 12 or something, you might say, hey, that's not how I played, but I just wanted you to keep in mind this is based off these standard rules. So there are going to be variations. And if you have variations, or if you say, hey, I think this way is a little bit better, or this is a little bit more challenging, or, the way you do it is a little confusing, I think this way is a lot more straightforward, please let me know. Leave me a message privately or put something in the comments. I mean, I love this game, so anything you teach me would be great to know, and I would totally appreciate it. Now, the one thing I won't talk about in the other slides, but it should be just understood for everyone before you start playing and when you start playing, just make sure you have fun. This is a game that I've played since I was a little kid and I love it. And I've, played with my cousins, I've played with friends, I've, started teaching it to my nephews and nieces and stuff like that. And the one thing in common is that we always have fun. If it's something that you're not enjoying, then I'm hoping that there's another game out there for you that you will enjoy and that you will love. But for me, this one game has always been something that kind of brought the whole family together, and we can play and we can talk trash and we can enjoy it, and we'll fight and we'll yell. But at the end of the day, when someone says, "Hey, do you want to play again?" 9 out of 10 times we're like, "Yes," and then that 10th time it's 4 in the morning and we're like, "No, no, no, we need some sleep." But again, just have fun. And I appreciate that you've come to take a look at these slides just to understand it. But that's the core thing. So if you're looking at the rules and you're like, ah, this doesn't seem like I'd be interested in it, totally understood. No hard feelings. I hope you find exactly the game that you're looking for. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Just real quick, some other additional links that I wanted to just mention in here, sort of shameless plugs as well. On the bottom left, what I'm showing is a link to the app, iOS app for Bukharo that we've created. It's called Play Bukharo. It's available for Apple only. Sorry, Android users. I'm still working on that. Just wanted to see if there'd be any interest at all in this whole idea in the first place. But it's downloadable. It's already out in the App Store. Feel free to download it. The link is there, and I'll put the actual web link in the show notes. And on the right, we actually have an ebook, and that's available on Amazon. Now, a lot of the lessons in here are covered in that ebook. So if you want to get a jump ahead and see what's going on, or if you want to learn about some of the other variations and different styles of play, there's probably a little bit more content on that book about those different things. Not a ton, but a little bit more. But a lot, I'll be honest, a lot of the information that's in there will be in these slides because the idea is to get that information out there and get more people interested in the game and playing. So please feel free to visit the links. I would appreciate any feedback that you could provide with both the book, the app, or even these videos. So if you could leave any comments on anything, ideally they'd be good, but even if they're not, I'd still want to get your feedback. I appreciate any information that you could provide. And one last thing, the app itself is based off the standard rules. So everything that I'm teaching to you now and everything that I'm going over 100% directly applies to what you would use in the game itself. So it's not like you'd have to learn a different set of rules once you play there. No, there's actually zero um, differences between how the game is played and what we're teaching here. And of course, that's kind of the idea. We want you to have a medium with which you can play without having to worry about any sort of uh, glitches in the knowledge transfer. Additionally, the game, just as another warning, it's not a one player game. You can't play against the computer. You can play 2 to 4 players, but you need to either play on the same device and just share it between people, or you can play multiplayer and you just have different phones. But the idea is that with Bukharo, and because it's a family game and because it's a game I grew up with other members of family and other friends playing, I wanted to make it more of an interactive game. So you can't play it alone, at least not yet. And so that was kind of my inherent reason behind that design. Anyway, I think I've taken up enough of your time for one day. Thank you so much for watching. The next slides will start going into the basics of the game, and we'll go into more detail as you get a little bit more of that familiarity. I hope you have a great day.